comprehend until you are in it. And it is only that can be experienced. So that's why usual talks and discussions and working exercises and intellectual discussions is not going to take it there. On the contrary, it itself becomes a hindrance to the reach to the state of the bliss. Because state of the bliss is a state where innocent minded people will get it. But all the pundits and all the big worded people will miss it completely. And because the thing that takes you into the state of bliss, ultimately it comes to the point where you forgot your own ego. You drop your own identification and you merge with Paramatma. In that state, in that infinite state, you become yourself formless, weightless, totally non-existent type of entity, and you merge yourself with the Paramatma, because he is also formless, weightless, indescribable type of entity. So when you merge with an undescribable entity who does not have any shape or size or form or characters and things like that, you have to dissolve your own identity also. So your identity goes along with the ego, because every time I think about myself, automatically all the things that I know, what I know about me, what I am, my identifications, everything goes along with it. So the number one requirement is to forget who you are. So it will be advantageous in a situation where the less you know, there is a better chance actually to reach to the state of bliss. At the same time, knowledge is necessary. We know that. The only way we can say that, yes, you need knowledge for a functionality, for a practical purpose, but we should be able to understand the importance of it. For our day-to-day utilitarian point of view, knowledge is important, but it should have its own limited significance in our mind. And then only we can go beyond that. So a lot of times we cannot make up our mind which way we're going. Are we want to go to the state of bliss, or we want to keep doing what we've been doing for thousands of generations? And do we want to come out of it and understand the whole thing? Because what we see is only what we see in the front of us with all the five senses. We don't see anything else. And the problem is, it is perceived by the mind. And whatever mind perceives is all that it knows. And when we get along with the mind, then that's all we get. But whatever is beyond the state of mind, we miss it. And mind has a tendency to divide into inside and outside. It's like chicken and the egg. When we say what came first, like we talked about, chicken or the egg, we always say, because that is our limited identification with whatever is in front of us. If the chicken is in front of us, we forget the egg. But we not realize that chicken is hiding the egg in its very, very primitive state. The moment the chicken was born, the possibility of egg already has started. Because someday chicken is going to lay the egg. Nothing else comes out of chicken, only the egg comes out. So the possibility of egg existed with the birth of the chicken. Similarly, as soon as the egg is laid, the possibility of next chicken is also there. So when we say chicken or the egg, that's living at the mind level. We only look at the form, the shape, the size, the color. And that is the limitation of the mind. Mind cannot comprehend what is the possibilities which are beyond, before the chicken or after the chicken, before the egg, after the egg. Mind fails to see the continuity of the whole process. So that's the limitation of the mind, and yet that's all we have. So to get an extra vision that goes beyond the mind, the spirituality is necessary. And that's the state of the bliss that we're talking about. So only at the state of bliss we are able to see the continuation. Because it's like sitting over here, we look at the sun. All we see is the sunrise and sunset. But when we step away, thousands of miles away, all we see is the two objects running around each other. And that's about it. For us, it's, at that level, in the space, there would not be any significance. Not that much, just like when we see a couple of stars going around each other.
Yeah.
But if you are living on that star, one of the stars, it will be a big deal. So
correct.
Staying in the material life, where we can perceive only you and each other and the rest of the world only at the senses level, for us everything is a big deal. I am different than you, you are different than me, and all those things, differences create so many complex web of thinking and everything at the mind level, but we never come out of it. So the state of bliss you can achieve sitting over here without going anywhere, and that state is hidden within. But we are not able to differentiate. That's the problem. We just don't know which way to go. So that's why we had used Mullah Nasruddin's example, because his friend asked him, how do I differentiate between the flowers and the weeds? Because he planted the flowers. The plants of the flowers came out, but a lot of weeds came out too. So he asked Mullah Nasruddin, how do I differentiate? Mullah says, easy. Take everything out, and then let whatever comes out by itself is the weeds. Whatever you have to work hard at, that's the flowers. So that is the problem in this world. Material, the business, the commercial aspect of the business is so common. Everybody is trying to grab your attention. All the things are advertised. You go from here to home, you're going to see 100 commercials on the way for different products and this and that. It's so easy. Nobody has to teach you how to drink Black Label. Just come sit down and start drinking. It's so easy. Whatever is easy is the weed. Whatever is difficult, you sit down. How often you say that I had a great time in meditation? And every time you sit down for meditating, it's going to be, oh, this guy, oh, my wife was shouting, my kids were shouting, there was a noise coming up, it's too cold in this room, this and that and all that. 1,000 little excuses, but you cannot go deep into the meditation. So that's tough. So that's the real flower. And that's what we want to go after.
Good example.
Right? Same way, you cannot find a real guru. You have to go to remote corners of Himalayas or something. Fake gurus are every year. every month there is one flying from India, charging you $1,000 for this mantra, $100 for this, and $20 for doing puja. There are dime a dozen gurus are coming in. So whichever comes in easy are fake gurus. Whichever one you have to go after is the real one. So that's how you have to understand that because we have made our life so complex, unknowingly, I'm not saying knowingly, but we've been dragged into the flow of materialism. And now it is very difficult to come out of it, only because we lost that innocence that we had as a child. The child, you look at him, all of a sudden he sees a butterfly. He gets so impressed. Oh, the butterfly is so beautiful. And he starts running after the butterfly. You try to catch him. Where are you going? Crazy? Come on, we have to go. No, but the butterfly is so beautiful. For him, everything is romantic. For him, everything is enchanting. Every little thing gives him a pleasure. And that sense of awefulness, like where we get awe-inspired by the little things in the nature, we have lost that. Because you imagine that you want to be, awestruck. Like, you get amazed at anything. What does it take to get amazed at simple little thing? For example, this morning, went for a run, right? Came back, the whole backyard is all covered with snow, except for 1 or 2 deers. All the snow is all nicely blanketed and all that. I went to drop off my recycled compost into the compost, right? I'm walking past by. The sun is just coming up, and it's like absolutely pitch silence. There is nothing else. And right behind the tree is when the sun is coming out, there is a pine tree, and its needles are all hanging down, and the orange sun is reflecting on it. And it's so much beauty. And then the little gentle wind came and put everything together. How can I make you understand that until you experience that?
Yeah.
I took the video, I took the picture, but it's still not going to do the justice. No matter how much I tell you, that bliss moment that you get, every little thing that... So all these things, we have failed to appreciate what we are able to see in the nature. And that's why we have a problem. That's why we have to try to differentiate what is weed, what is flower. The kid already knows. You take him to the beach, he collects all these beautiful tiny stones, and you think that he's crazy. And he brings them home because you think they're crazy. He hides them from you. He puts in his pocket. Then he brings them home, and at night when he falls asleep, you have to take it out of his pocket, put them away.
Throw them away.
And you busy go back to your... Believe me, when you see diamonds...
You do the same thing.
You do the same thing, but for him, to looking at those colorful stones even more exciting than the diamonds you get.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you get diamonds, you're done. And then you're looking for something bigger.
Bigger.
But him, that is the end. That is the dead end. For him, it is the ultimate surprise. He said, butterfly shouldn't be flying. And he gets amazed. He should be amazed. Why? Because everything that you're amazed at is a mystery. That mystery is the creation of God. Everything is mysterious. There is a difference between mystery and a riddle. If it's a riddle, a mathematical problem, you can solve it. If not now, maybe with the proper knowledge, you apply the principles, this and that, you can solve it someday. Unknown will someday become known. But mystery is a mystery. It will always be mystery. The more you get into it, it will never be solved, but it will keep on amazing you, and you yourself will get lost. It's like going into that maze. Yeah. You know, the kid doesn't find a way out, but getting lost itself is a journey. Mystery can never be solved. Mystery is not a solution that can be solved. A problem can be solved. Mystery only can be lived. And we have lost that art of living the mystery. The mystery is all around us. Everything is a mystery. Even a tiny leaf bird comes out is a mystery. Even the wind gently comes out. It's singing the shloks of Gita. Every leaf has ayats from Quran. Everything around us is Paramatma. The bird is singing, Paramatma is singing. The sun is coming out. He's the one who's throwing grace at you. All the beautiful sunrise. We should be amazed at all these things. We should be amazed at each other. We should be amazed at ourselves. When you go into the deep states of meditation, and you go deeper and deeper, and you start dissociating yourself from your own existence, right? And you are in that formless state where nothing is disturbing you. You are in a very, very tranquil state. Your own mind seems so distant. You're looking at your own mind as if your mind is your child. You love the mind because it's your own child. And you like it because of what it does for you. But you have nothing to do with it. You're not affected by the temper tantrums of the mind and desires of the mind and nothing like that. But at the same time, there is no reason to hate mind either because it's your own child, right? But you appreciate what it has done for you also. What did your child do for you? It brought you that pleasure, that excitement that you get when a child is born. All these beautiful things that he can offer you, right? So, when you look at the world, you have to use your mind and you have to use your body with its 5 senses. Every time you see a beautiful scene, appreciate that what a beautiful sight. If you didn't have eyes, what could you do? When you run and you climb the mountains, appreciate that you have legs. Thank your legs every single day because that's the gift. Someday it may not be there. Someday one of your senses may not be there. Someday you may not be able to see. Someday you may not be able to walk. That's when you will realize. Someday you may not be here. You want to hear the birds chirping. But when we have it, we don't appreciate it. But the child does. He's just born in this world because he's not buried under the layers and layers of, knowledge.